All right, riders. Richard Jaffe here, motorcycle attorney and Long Island rider for over 20 years. Today, we're talking about the skill that separates riders who walk away from close calls and riders who become clients in my office: emergency braking. Most riders think they know how to stop their bike. Pull the brake lever, squeeze harder, bike stops. Simple, right? Wrong. Emergency braking is a complex skill that requires practice, understanding, and respect for physics. Get it wrong, and you're either hitting whatever you're trying to avoid or you're flying right over your handlebars. I've represented riders who've crashed because they couldn't stop in time. I've also represented riders who crashed because they grabbed too much brake and they went down that way. Both are preventable with proper technique. Let me tell you about a case from last winter. Rider coming down Northern State Parkway and doing about 45. Car ahead slams on the brakes, dead stop in traffic. He's got maybe 60 feet to stop from highway speed. Panics, grabs a fistful of front brake. Bike stands straight up. He goes right over the top, breaks both wrists, collarbone, road rash, down his back. The crazy part, with proper technique, his bike could have stopped in less than 50 feet. He had the distance. He had good tires. He just didn't have the skill when it counted. Here's what happens when you grab too much front brake too fast. All the bike's weight transfers forward. The rear wheel gets light, sometimes completely off the ground. The front suspension compresses hard. If you maintain that death grip, the front tire locks up and starts sliding. If you're really unlucky, you compress the front so much that the bike pivots right over the front wheel. Physics don't care about your panic. They don't care that you're scared. Maximum stopping power happens right before the tire starts sliding, not after. The moment that rubber breaks traction, you've lost most of your stopping ability. Progressive braking is how you stop fast without eating asphalt. Start firm, but build pressure gradually. Think of it like this: 70% of your stopping power comes from the front brake, 30% from the rear. But you can't just slam on 70% instantly. You have to earn it through proper weight transfer. Here's the technique step by step. You see trouble ahead, car turning left, stop traffic, whatever. First thing, look for an escape route. Maybe you don't need to stop at all. Swerving might be the better option, but if stopping is your only choice, here's how to do it right. Squeeze the front brake firmly, but progressively. Don't grab, squeeze. Start with solid pressure, then increase it as the bike's weight transfers forward and the front tire gets more grip. Think of it like loading the tire with weight before you ask it to do maximum work. At the same time, apply the rear brake with steady pressure, not as much as the front, but the rear helps stabilize the bike and add stopping power. If the rear starts to slide, ease off and reapply. A locked rear wheel can make the bike fishtail, but it's usually recoverable. Watch your body position. As you brake harder, you need to slide back on the seat if possible and keep your arms relaxed. Fighting the weight transfer makes emergency braking harder and less effective. The key skill is feeling for maximum grip. This takes practice. You want to apply maximum pressure right up to the point where the tire starts to slide, then back off just enough to stay in the grip zone. Different conditions, wet roads, cold tires, worn surfaces, change where that limit is. Let's talk about different scenarios because not every emergency stop is the same. Wet roads change everything. Your stopping distance can double or triple. Tires take longer to generate grip on wet pavement, so your progressive pressure has to be even more gradual. Start braking earlier and expect longer distances. Don't try to stop as fast as you would on dry pavement. You'll be on the ground. Gravel or loose surfaces are where rear brake becomes more important. Front wheel locks easily on loose stuff, so use more rear, less front than normal. Still progressive, but the balance shifts towards the back wheel. And always expect longer stopping distances on anything loose. If you got ABS, don't assume it makes you bulletproof. ABS prevents lockup, but it doesn't change physics. On some surfaces like gravel or snow, ABS can actually increase stopping distances because a little bit of wheel slip might give you more stopping power than preventing all slip. And here's something most riders don't know. You can outrun some ABS systems, especially older ones, if you're aggressive enough with the front brake. ABS is an aid, not a guarantee. Emergency braking while leaned over is advanced territory. And honestly, most riders should avoid it. When you're cornering and you need to stop, you've got two choices: straighten the bike up and brake hard, or stay leaned and brake very gently. Physics say that braking forces and cornering forces compete for your tire's available grip. Try to do both at maximum and you'll slide. For most riders, the smart move is to straighten up as quickly as possible and then brake normally. You'll use more road but you're less likely to crash. Practice makes this skill automatic, and automatic is what you need because in a real emergency, you don't have time to think. You've got maybe half a second from, oh shit, to I need to stop now. Find an empty parking lot. Start at 25 miles an hour and practice stopping as fast as possible without locking up. Mark your stopping distance with cones or chalk. Practice until you can consistently stop in the same distance every time. Work your way up gradually, 30, 35, 40 miles per hour. Always leave yourself an exit. Don't practice towards a wall or parked cars. The goal here is to learn what maximum braking feels like on your specific bike with your specific tires. Practice on different surfaces if you can safely find them. Wet pavement, gravel, concrete versus asphalt. Every surface has a different grip level and different feedback through the bike. Body position practice matters too. Learn to slide back on the seat as you brake. Practice keeping your arms loose so you're not fighting the weight transfer. A lot of riders make emergency braking harder by tensing up and fighting the bike's natural behavior. Here's what not to do. Don't practice this stuff in traffic or on public roads with a car behind you. Don't practice without proper gear. If you're learning this skill, dropping the bike is unfortunately part of the process. Don't try to go from zero to hero in one session. Build the skill gradually. And don't practice beyond your abilities all at once. Your tires need to warm up, your confidence needs to build, and muscle memory takes time to develop. The mental side is just as important as the physical technique. In a real emergency, you need to make split-second decisions. Brake, swerve, or some kind of combination. Train yourself to automatically scan for escape routes. Sometimes the best emergency braking is no braking. If you could safely swerve around the problem. I practice this mindset every time I ride, constantly scanning ahead, constantly asking what if, constantly positioning myself where I have options. The emergency stop you never have to make is always better than the perfect emergency stop. Here's something I see in a lot of cases. Riders had the physical ability to stop in time, but they either hesitated too long before braking or they panicked and grabbed too much too fast. The technique only works if you apply it quickly and smoothly when it counts. That's why this skill has to be automatic. When a car turns left in front of you, which is the #1 cause of motorcycle fatalities, you don't have time to remember the steps. Your muscles have to know what to do without your brain getting involved. I've been riding for about 20 years now, and I still practice emergency braking. I still work on feeling for that maximum grip point. I still challenge myself to stop shorter distances safely. It's a perishable skill, and if you don't maintain it, you don't have it when you need it. Don't become another statistic because you couldn't stop when it mattered. Don't become a client in my office because you went over the bars trying to stop too hard. Learn this skill, practice this skill, and maintain this skill. If you or someone you ride with has been in an accident, we're here to help at Cohen and Jaffe. But the best accident case is the one that never happens. And speaking of preventing accidents, your next must watch is my video about the #1 cause of motorcycle fatalities and how to protect yourself. Because knowing how to stop is critical, but understanding where the biggest danger comes from is what keeps you out of that situation in the first place. Click that video now. It might save your life. And keep practicing your stops. Ride safe out there.